Will Jewett here, guys, and today we'll be running through the mandating of fixed rate and interest only expiry, the Stay in Touch program. We'll run through why we're doing it and what the value you guys can get out of that as well. So this week, I just want to thank our sponsor, GoFlexi. Thank you for sponsoring all our Thrives this week. And if we look to why we're doing this, so as part of keeping brokers safe, and Dave McQueen spoke to this last week, it's really about ensuring that we're doing everything in the customer's best interest now with the application, but also into the future. And part of that is ensuring that customers that we do put on any fixed rates or interest only periods, that there is a clear process that we are showing to the regulators on I guess, what that process is. And there was an opportunity here as well to provide a great customer experience. And through the Stay in Touch program, we feel we've been able to design something that will add a lot of value to your business, but also keep you safe. So with that, I'll just hand over to Beck, and she'll talk through how it works, the new program.
Cool, thanks, Will. So just to make it really super clear, the part that has been or is being kind of mandated and that is a requirement is that you're going to need to communicate with your customers at these 2 points. So when their fixed rate or their interest only expiry period is either up or it's close to coming up, just to make sure you are touching base at that point. Now, as Will mentioned, luckily, we do already have the Stay in Touch program available to everyone. And this is a really great way to actually automate that process for you. Now, what we will be doing, just to, again, try and save you time, make this really easy, is on Monday, this 7th of December, we will actually turn on the fixed rate and the interest only expiry emails from the Stay in Touch program. We'll turn them on for every single broker via My CRM. Now, you'll get an email on that day to remind you that that's happening, but you're not required to keep them on. If you've already got a process in place that you think works really well and you want to continue to use that as an alternative, you can. However, every year when you get kind of an audit survey from the compliance team, you will need to prove to them and have evidence that you do have an alternative process in place. So just make sure if you're not using Stay in Touch and you do decide to turn them off, that you do have an alternative solution in place. Now, for anyone who's not familiar with the Stay in Touch program and the emails and how it all works, Stay in Touch is a way to automate your communications with clients post-settlement. Now, I'll show you what that looks like in My CRM in a second. But to start with, I just wanted to give you a bit of a rundown, I guess, of what the interest only and the fixed rate expiry emails look like. Now, they are very kind of transactional focused. It's very much the expiry is coming up. Here are the things that we're going to do. Assess where you are now, check in on your loan options, and just work through any of the steps that are required. So it's not a very kind of marketing salesy email. It's very much transactional focused and something that we've had very little feedback or concern about that content. The other thing to call out here is we do have a high open rate. So over 53% of people are actually opening these emails when they come through to them. Shows that it's a really great way as well to just be engaged with your customers at that point. Now, I'm just going to jump into My CRM quickly and just show you where you actually find the Stay in Touch kind of section. This way you'll know where to go if you want to opt out when it's turned on for you on Monday the 7th. Or if you're not using it already and you want to start today, you'll know where to go to turn that on. So when you're in My CRM, you just want to click on your name in the top right corner, and that will take you to your profile. Once you get there, just click on that subscription and plugin tab, and that will take you to where all your subscriptions sit. If you scroll down, the third one in there will be Marketing Automation Stay in Touch. And if you haven't subscribed yet, it might just say subscribe, and then you'll click on the purple one. In my case, it says update subscription. When you click into that, let me just refresh that page. When you click into that, it will give you all of the emails that we have available in Stay in Touch, and it gives you the option to toggle them on or off, depending which emails you want to use. So I'll just hope that that's going to refresh okay, and then I'll show you what that looks like. The main thing I just really want to make clear though is if you don't want to use Stay in Touch, you don't have to, but this is, I guess, a recommended way to just automate that process for you. Cool. So when you click into that, this is what you'll see. And in my case, I'm opted into everything. But if you did think, well, I've actually got a really good process for fixed rate expiry at the moment, interest only is going to be helpful, but I want to keep doing my own thing for fixed rate. All you need to do is toggle that button. You'll see that it now looks like it's off. And then you will just need to go down and update your subscription with the button below. So it's really simple, really easy to manage that if you ever want to change it. And again, once it is turned on for you on Monday the 7th, even if you wanted to do your own process in April next year or whenever it is, you've got the flexibility to turn it on or off as you wish. The other thing I just wanted to make really clear as well is you can also opt individual customers out or in. So if, for example, I don't know, let's just say Darius spoke to me yesterday about my fixed rate expiry, and he's thinking, okay, well, I don't actually need to send the email to Beck. We've already got an email. We've got proof that I've spoken to her, and it's going to be weird if I now send an automated email out. What he can actually do is go into my profile in my CRM, just where you would go to edit their phone number or their name. And you'll be able to see that there's a stay in touch section kind of just below where the marketing consent is. Within there, there's actually a tick box for every individual email. So he could go in there and untick the fixed rate expiry, which will stop me receiving the automated email from Stay in Touch. One other thing to note with Stay in Touch is you will always get notified 2 days before your customer. So that just gives you a little bit of leeway. Again, if you're in that situation where you want to opt a customer out, you can. But more importantly, it will give you a chance to actually schedule some time in your diary to reach out to that customer in 2 days when you know they would have also received that automated reminder. So just again, it's one to keep you in the loop, make sure that you're already across everything that's happening. And all of these emails that are sent also sync into that communications tab in my CRM as well. I might actually stop there on the Stay in Touch piece and just check if anyone has any questions about the Stay in Touch emails for fixed rate and interest only expiry. And yeah, if there are any concerns or anything you want me to cover off on that first, feel free to come off mute if that's easier, if anyone does want to ask anything right now. Nope. Okay, cool. I'll go back to Will then just to kind of run through why it is that we're actually mandating fixed rate and interest only.
Sorry, I do have a very quick question.
Oh, yep, go for it.
Apologies, because I'm kind of new to loan market. So I'm just wondering, do we have to input any of these dates into the CRM, or is it all picked up direct from the applications and the information? Does it all like happen automatically through settlement?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So yes, it's all within that loan, the loan details that sit in my CRM. So if you have come across from another aggregator, whatever information was provided, and I think it would have been Clayton that probably did that data migration for you, any information that's provided through that will also be used to trigger these emails. Now that is actually a really good point as well. If you have come from another aggregator and you don't have an interest only expiry date, or you didn't have the interest only term or whatever it may be in your data set, we're not going to penalize you for that because you don't have the data. But in all loans that you do settle through when you're putting them into the MyCRM system, yes, they will automatically just trigger that. You don't need to do anything additional to your current process.
That's great. Thank you.
No worries. Did anyone else have any questions they wanted us to cover off about Stay in Touch? Cool. We'll jump back to you, Will.
Thank you, Beck. So quickly talk through, I think we're all aware of, the importance here, but from an ASIC point of view to ensure we're, I guess, putting the customer first and ensuring the product we put them is in their best interest. There's a clear link there between why we ask for future financial goals. It's to understand what their future objectives are, but also there's a requirement for us to do the right thing by the customer once they do come off that, for example, fixed rate. We all know we spend a lot of time and customers spend a lot of time trying to negotiate the best rate possible after coming out of a term, and whether it's interest only or fixed. So I think number one, it's really about helping Sam and Loan Market and yourselves show the Royal Commissioner that we've taken action. That's really something that Dave is very passionate about, and also proving a case to keep trail. So us proving that this is by having these processes in place and it becoming now a loan market policy to have a process, whether it's one touch or your own process is fine. It's really about strengthening the case for trail and proving that we're going above and beyond for our customers, which becomes very important moving into best interest duty. But it's also the right thing to do, and the Stay in Touch program really helps with that. And it's a proven method and system, or to help allow that to happen more automatically. And we've spoken a lot about compliance by design, and it's really an extension to that. So it's really critical there. And of course, act in the customer's best interest. It was a great time to check in with their loan needs. And through the One Touch program, it really is an easy way to do that automatically and create those next conversations that may then turn into further business or turn into further referrals and everything else. And it's really about great customer satisfaction. And now, of course, it becomes the loan market's policy. So we believe that everyone should have a policy or a process in place. So as Beck mentioned, if it's not Stay in Touch, if you've already got your own process, that's fine. You'll just need to advise us once a year on what that process is. And it's, I guess, a collective effort to ensure that process is robust enough to really cover the customer in both these scenarios, whether it's interest only or fixed rates. That's it from me. Did Beck, you want to run through the timeline?
Yeah, so I know we've kind of mentioned a couple of these dates already, but just to make it really clear and kind of visually here in terms of how it's going to work, we're catching up today to answer any questions. So please do, if you have any questions, ask them after this slide. On the 7th of December, that is when we will turn on the fixed rate and interest only emails as part of that Stay in Touch program. It will all be done for you, and you'll receive an email that same day. That email will just summarize everything we've talked about today around what the policy is, why we're doing it, and then also it will have a video for how to opt out of the Stay in Touch emails if you wish to do so. Just make sure you do have an alternative process in place. And then we want to kind of launch this in December so that you are all set up for success, and it's all set up rolling all across what is actually going to come into effect on Jan 1. That is when the actual kind of policy change will take effect. So good to get in a good rhythm this side of Christmas so that you're ready before the new year and don't have to make any changes on Jan 1. So anyone else, Michelle, who's the best person to advise that we have our own process? Yeah, so Michelle, because of the way that we need to, I guess, roll this out in kind of the most efficient way, and just to make sure that we don't miss anyone, we will turn those emails on for everyone on the 7th. But I would just recommend you just jump in My CRM, which I'm sure you'll be doing on that day anyway, but just jump in and opt out of those emails if you have a process. You won't need to kind of tell anyone about the process until you, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but it's the anniversary each year of your start date with us. At that point, you'll get a kind of questionnaire with a few questions just around compliance and different kind of platforms and processes. And one of those questions will be around what do you do at the fixed rate and interest only expiry time. And if you're not using Stay in Touch, it will then ask you just to provide some information about the process you have. So you can just wait until you get that through. Craig, is there an option for the CSM to receive the Stay in Touch emails as well? Craig, that is something that we have in kind of an enhancements brief at the moment. Unfortunately, that isn't set up that way currently, but one thing I would recommend you could do is actually set up email forwarding in your Gmail account. So if you ever get an email with the subject line that is for an interest only or fixed rate expiry, oh, hey Karen, you can then make sure that that email just forwards on to the CSM. So a bit of a workaround that you can do for now, but it's definitely on the roadmap at some point. I'm just not sure exactly when we'll get to that, unfortunately. Perfect. Any other questions, guys? No. Okay, cool. Well, if you have any questions about the policy itself, best to reach out to compliance. But if you have any questions about Stay in Touch, please make sure they come to marketing@loanmarket.com.au, and we'll be able to answer anything that you're unsure about, or if you want us to clarify anything. And then we also do have the links to the actual content and things like that we can share with you. If you want to have a read of them. But I think that's pretty much everything, unless there was anything you wanted to cover off, Will.
No, I don't think so. If there's any questions from a compliance perspective, again, Beck, what you just mentioned, just reach out to compliance@loanmarket.com.au and we'll be happy to answer anything. Stay tuned for that new compliance attestation that will be coming in the new year. It'll just be an automated kind of checklist once a year to make sure you guys are kept safe. So that's pretty much it from me, Beck.
Cool, thanks, Will. And Karen, I see you asked, can we edit the content? At the moment, we don't have that functionality, but as I showed in the slides, the content is very kind of transactional focused rather than anything too kind of salesy or marketing related. So we really want to make sure that is just as generic as it can be so that it does suit kind of everyone's businesses, hopefully. If you do have any kind of feedback or any suggestions for how that content could be improved, though, we're always happy to hear that. So please don't hesitate to reach out with any suggestions. Cool. Well, have a great week, everyone, and a great weekend. And we'll speak to you all soon.
Thanks all.